Hello, hello. Welcome back to another podcast from yours truly, Poppin' Often with Podcast Lofton. Today we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about Eve. We're going to talk about just kind of how early access was in comparison. We're going to talk about the next event to come because it is coming, and then we are going to hop into the comments. But first, a huge shout out, a huge thank you to all the members that are watching right now. If you guys do not know, I record this live with members. So what you're typing in chat, I can't see. This is members chat. People that are supporting the channel, I record it with them and they're able to give their live feedback right there as I'm talking, and I can talk to them. If that's something you want to do, if you want to be a part of that, make sure you consider becoming a member and you can sit in with us and record and have a good time because we chilling. So first things first. Eve is here. Look at her little happiness. She's here, trying to look all cutie in the booty. I see you, girl. All right, so there's Eve. Eve is in the game. Eve is now here. But it's not all well as you would think. There were some changes to the event. Now you could say, Poppin', you was right. Or you could say, Poppin', you weren't right, and Gameloft just thought it was a good idea, so they decided to do it anyway. No matter how you look at it, that's what happened. So let's talk about it. What actually happened? Is it for better or worse? Because honestly, it's not that bad, but it kind of is. So what are we referring to? The new event came out, and it's instead of a time trial, which is what we usually have, we've had a time trial for each and every character that was released, but this time it wasn't. This time it's going to be separate missions. So if we look at the missions, they require some things. Now there's two missions here, and each mission gives you 5 Eve shards. If you complete them both, you unlock Eve, and she is now a 1-star character for you. And you're gonna have to play ranked to get 2 stars or wait for the next event that is coming, and we will talk about that later on in the podcast. The problem with this, though, is that one event or one mission, whatever, requires Wally. And I said that in the last podcast, is that they would require Wally. And I said that in the podcast before that, is that they might require Wally, which is exactly what they do. You can see right here, it requires Wally. It requires the young boy. Now, on top of that, there's another issue. Not only does it require Wally, but the second mission requires what? You guessed it. It requires Minnie, Mike Wazowski, Pete, Sully, and Woody. 4 of them are extremely hard to get if you are a new player, period. Not even just this season, but last season. I mean, people are still struggling to get it, and they started since free to play. Now, why would they do that? Why would they? Oh, let me get it out. Let me get it out the way. Why would they do that? Why would they make it so not only you need Wally, but you also need some really hard characters? Like, why can't we just? I don't know. Why can't we just have it for nothing? Just give us the character outright. Well, we already do know they usually hike up their prices within each season. They usually make they usually give us a lot more things to buy. Disney Speedstorm live service is different from like a regular live service in the fact that it's a mobile game. And mobile game live services usually have a lot of, you pay to feel like you're progressing instead of us like actually changing the game that much. If we put things in and design things for you, you're most likely going to feel a difference because when you pay, you got what you got. And you don't pay too much attention. And I spoke about this last podcast too, is a lot of what Speedstorm's goal is going to really be is to just give you new characters. If you get new characters, you're going to be happy, you're going to spend, and it's going to repeat that cycle. They don't actually need to change the game. They figured out that formula, and as long as people continue to buy and follow that formula and try to reach leaderboards and whatnot and continue to spend a lot of money, they'll keep doing it. The problem with this is, even if you're someone who doesn't care about multiplayer or someone who doesn't care about leaderboards or max stats, you physically cannot unlock these characters without paying money. Before, in the time trials, it was always about how good are you. If you're a new player and you're just not that good, you're just not that good. But you still get some shards, I guess. With this, it doesn't matter how good or bad you are. You're not getting that if you don't own the character. You physically can't even try. And then on top of that, if you don't have a high enough level, you're going to be stressing out in these races, and you're not going to be able to win. Now, it is possible to do Woodies being 1-star. It is possible doing Woodies to be 1-star. I had an alternate account and I pulled it off. It's a lot of work, and I'm also just not an average player. I'm not someone who casually plays Speedstorm. I mean, I want to be more than casual now, I guess, but I'm just saying in the past, you know, reaching top 100 on the leaderboard, actually really like going ham on this game in terms of like putting skill into it before it really became pay to win. Well, I guess it was always pay to win, but whatever. I was literally taking the right turns. I was hugging the walls. I was doing everything you needed to do to increase your time, which is what you're going to need to do to beat the bots under leveled. Most of the player base are not like me. They're probably going to just casually play the game. They just enjoy racing with their character, and you can't even play it if you don't have the other characters. Now we can ask ourselves, is this actually better than before? Is this better than time trials? Well, we're going to talk more about that in a bit. But in terms about how it works, do you feel like it should remain regulated and skill should be skill? Or do you feel like it should be unregulated and you're going to for sure get your character as long as you have the character or you spend the money to get the character? I know some people might not be able to actually reach the top of the leaderboard, which does happen, but at least it's not a carrot that you're trying to chase that you can never catch up to. You know, you could still kind of get better at it. It's not like a lot of work, but technically you could still improve your time. With this one, however, there's no improvement. Again, you're gonna need to cash out. So is that better? Let me know. Chat, what do y'all think? Is this better? Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. I would have been out of luck if I didn't unlock Woody from the new tour. Oh yeah, I do forget. I forgot that even if you can't really do it without Wally, but you also just can't do it without the other characters. I don't know why, like my brain just thought that you can't do it with just Wally. You literally can't do them with like, they need all the characters. If you don't have those characters, you're not getting mission number 1 complete. You're not getting mission number 2 complete at all. You're gonna need these characters. That's wild. And then of course there's a box in the shop. Of course, no, don't worry. There's always a box in the shop to get you the character, so you could just, you know, pay for that and get the character outright. Also, I swear, I could be wrong, but I swear when they do missions or events, they like to give you just enough to be so close to unlocking the character or starring up that you're gonna just be like, oh, I only need 2 shards. Oh, okay, I'm just gonna buy. And then that's how they get you. I swear, look. I always say Game Loft is smart, man. Tell me that's not a good idea that they probably most likely are doing. Let's be honest here. All right, Post said, as an overall blanket statement, the event is not the first time an event required 1 or more characters in order to complete it or to unlock a character. Wait, what? This specifies just varies from event to event. Or specifics. Why can't I read? What? This is what you see when I don't record it. It's like I read so fast I miss it. But I don't recall unlocking a new character needing a specific character. Now I know what you're saying. I think unlocking the shards itself this is not the first event that needs to unlock with a specific character, but as a new character that's dropping, this is definitely the first event where they're saying you need it. Basically what they would do before is they would have and release a character, and then if you didn't get all the shards for it, whatever, it'll kind of come back later and you'll be able to get them with just having the characters that you already have, and you can unlock it right then and there. That's more of a wait game. I think even after time trials they usually do that, but I don't remember needing hard characters. I think you just needed to play easy characters and you got them. And then if you want crew or something like that, you're gonna need to play hard characters. I know one required like Hades before. That being said, to drop a new character and not give players a chance to unlock the character unless they spend money or have been playing for a long time is a bit nuts. You know, it's one thing to say, here's regulated, bro, good luck. If you failed, that's on you. We got other opportunities, but you should have made it yourself. Rather than like, you don't get the opportunity, you need to pay or get out of my game. Like, I don't know. But let's continue. Let's continue reading. At this point, I'm having the hardest time dealing with this guilt of being able to do just about anything / any event that requires any level character, because I started in season 1 and I should be happy, but I'm not. Yeah, that's how I felt, and that's how I feel, and that's what I said in my Discord. If you guys are in my Discord, you probably already read it. If you guys haven't been in my Discord, come join my Discord. We do talk about more than just Speedstorm, so keep that in mind. But I remember saying that, a lot of players might be happy about like new characters and events and whatever coming that requires specific characters, but in reality, like, I can't be happy because I want everybody else to be happy. The whole reason I made videos back in the day when this game first came out is because I wanted to share the game. And I wanted everyone to be happy playing the game and experience what I experienced. But as the season started to go kind of worse and worse in terms of like the amount of people they're keeping from playing the game, or the amount of people they're keeping from getting certain things, it's like, yeah, I can do it. I got all the characters. I have stars, I have levels. I throw anything at me, Speedstorm, I bet you I can clear it. But that doesn't make me happy. It's just like, okay, I'm the lucky one, I guess. But how can you be happy when everyone else around you is miserable? That's what I said in my Discord. And I was like literally, how can you be happy if everyone else that plays the game feels like crap? Yes, being on the top, I guess, feels good, but I'm not the type of person who wants to step on others to make myself feel better. If like you're not at the top with me, then I don't want to be there. I want to be down here. I want everyone to be up together. And that's one of the main issues that I had in Speedstorm. And that is one of the main issues that I always convey when I make my videos or when I make my podcast, is literally talking about the people that aren't having fun and talking about the people that are having these issues, and really trying to bring it to people's attention. Because if you are at the top, if you're having a good time, you most likely are ignoring all the other ones that aren't. And when free-to-play launched, season 4 and 5, a lot of players that had a lot of the stuff, a lot of players that have been around a long time, they ignored the new players. They just pretty much were like, it's gonna come eventually, just wait for it, spend some cash, it's fine. And they wouldn't really try to help get anything done. And I think at that point, Gameloft understood, well, if y'all don't care about these new players and you keep giving us money regardless, why would we? And so every season it got worse and worse, to the point where it's really only satisfying the people that, the people that are those people that didn't care before. But now it's too late. Now the game's so deep, there's no changing it. We should have thought about changing it. We should have thought about speaking up way before it got to this point, because now it's literally just going to keep going down and down and down and down. And I don't really know how much worse it can get. Again, they're probably just marketing to the people that already have a lot. So you that are probably watching are probably like, dude, I already got a lot of this. Or I don't mind spending money. I want to support the game. Whatever your reasons being, you might not care. But again, I want everybody to be happy, and obviously there's a lot of players that are not, and so I can't be happy myself, which is why I always make guides and stuff, even simplified versions, so that you can be happy too. Anyway, let's move on. That was a long talk, I know. All right, Crack and Crunch time. Hello, by the way, good to see you. They said, oh, and also Rapido, good to see you. Hello. They said it's fine for old players. They got most of the stuff already, 3 stars and above. New players out of luck, pretty much. Unfortunately, I don't have Steamboat Pete, so I'm still not a fan of the specific race or requirements. Also, many people were complaining about not even having Wally, so it's pretty much unfair to them. Yes, dude, I remember that Wally event. Dude, that Wally event was crazy. There's so many players that came to play Speedstorm for that one specific I unlocked Wally and never came back. And it's funny because you know that they bought it, right? You know that if you are gonna make that time, people are gonna be like, I love Wally. Oh my gosh, I need to spend cash. And so they bought him, right? And that might be you. And I'm not making fun of you, I'm not saying anything. If you want to purchase the characters, do so. Obviously, that's what they're doing and that's what it's there for. But what I'm saying is they're kind of capitalizing on that. Imagine if we make it so difficult where you need to buy and you're going to buy because you like the character. What are you gonna do? Well, Wally is one of those characters and Eve is one of those characters. So of course they're gonna make it so that you're gonna wanna buy it. So then, we'll make it harder so that you're gonna wanna buy it. We like to buy things without doing, we like to do the least amount of work as possible. So if we could just buy it, we can. Now we do know that it is a loot box though, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's a loot box. So you're not really buying Eve, and they're probably, sucking you into like spending a lot more money than Eve is actually worth, you might as well just buy. Wait, now that I think about it, how many of those boxes are for sure? Like, is there like a Wally unlock box? I honestly don't. That's how much I just don't care about shop in this game. But how is there a Wally unlock box, or is it like a loot box? And then as far as the other characters like Sully, Woody, those are unlocked like like if you purchase it, is yours, right? But with the Wally, do they have one? And if they do, is it loot? Is it loot based? We'll come back to that because I really don't know. So hopefully you guys can answer it for me. Let's see. Kraken Crunch Time says, but even if they gave everyone 1-star racers for all the racers from the start, would that change anything? Most people aren't skilled enough to get them to 2 stars and want them from most people 2 stars. I literally am just reading too fast. And then stop increasing the level. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna increase I don't think it's gonna stop them from increasing the level. But one of the main things that we want to think about is like most of the player base that plays Disney Speedstorm, they aren't hardcore players. Like the people on the leaderboard, yeah, they're gonna cash no matter what. That's literally how they stay there. But for like the average player, they just want to race as their character. And I don't even think they care about multiplayer. So having everybody unlock something for 1 star not only allows them to be able to play it in private or in local with their friends and family, but they're also able to play it in regulated as well. And so giving them that 1 star for like almost all the characters, it helps them to enjoy that game, but it also, you're not going to be able to play the other stuff without, purchasing how they usually have it. Like if you're going to have to purchase anyway, you could still split them up. People that want to have fun and don't care about the rest of the game, let those people play with their little 1 stars. And then for the people that actually care and want to do all these events and all that, get all the crew members and all the crew shards and all that extra stuff, then obviously have them level and star up. That's a good thought process to it though. But I think there's more pros than cons coming from it if they gave everybody a character with 1 star. So that's a little rough. I honestly think that what they should do is just, if you start new, give everybody all the characters from each season. And I said this before in another podcast. If I started, let's just say, free to play, right? If I started in free to play, then I should be able to get Mike and Sully. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank of the other characters that dropped. Toy Story and Lilo and Stitch. Like I should get all of those characters for a 1 star level 1 character with all of them. And there's a lot of games that do that, right? There's a lot of games that come to a season 3, season 4, season 5, or have another expansion. And if you're new and you come, you kind of just get everything that everybody else had gotten. Now, I know some people might think, well, I worked for mine. And I don't think that's how it should be. But like, I don't know. I feel like it's not going to do much harm. And they still are going to not be able to unlock the limited event characters. So, but we already talked about that. We are talking about the limited event characters. I don't think they should give it to you just outright, obviously. But I do think they need a way that everybody can get them if they tried. You shouldn't be locked out without paying. And getting it for 1 star without having to pay. Yes, you're going to have to pay to upgrade them anyway. You're going to have to wait for shards anyway. We get this. But if you want to play with your kids, or you want to play with your brother and sister, you want to play with your friends, or whatever you want to play with that doesn't involve online, or if you want to play regulated, like whatever, it doesn't matter. You can play those modes and enjoy yourself. If you want to enjoy the real Speedstorm, you are going to have to pay because it's a mobile game. And just separate the two. I really don't like how they're excluding so many players because they just don't pay. It's kind of like whack to me. It's always whack to me. All right, let's wrap up and we'll move to the next segment. So at the end of the day, they would still need to pay, which is true. Business is true. That's just how they work. Quite honestly, I thought if Gameloft makes a big step forward, then I'm going to invest in one of their founder packs. But since nothing really changed, the single player is kind of deserted. coming from someone who bought the founder pack, I haven't spent any extra money because I've seen where the money is going and it's not going in the direction that I want it to go. So I haven't bought anything in Speedstorm at all. I'm one of the people that when I buy stuff, it's not really just for me. I will buy it for the company. That's how I see it. I don't really purchase things I don't really like purchase with microtransactions. I don't do it for me. I'm not like, ooh, I gotta get that for me. It's more of like, I can live without it, but I kind of want it. And are you doing a good job with your game? Then all right, I'll buy it. Whatever, who cares? I want it, and you're doing a good job. You're making the game go forward. Like that's literally all I care about. FF14 is a prime example. For a black paint, for a jet black paint, you're gonna need to spend a lot of in-game money, or you're gonna have to cash it. Now, let's just say for a jet black paint in Speedstorm, I'd have to cash it. I wouldn't buy it. But because I like FF, well, that's not right. I like Speedstorm too. But because I like their company, I like what they have done with the game. The track record for the game is actually amazing. They always improve. They always listen. I don't mind it. You know? And so that's where my stance is when it comes to like game options, putting money into the game. It's not going anywhere that makes the game better. It's literally just going to the next character release and the next character release and the next character release. And I guess you could say it goes into the maps too, but like, I don't know. I'm more of a fundamentals type of guy. I want to see some things actually physically change. I don't want a new coat of paint. That's kind of like the best way that I can think about it. So, but obviously, if you support their new maps and you support their new character drops, and you're not really worried too much about how the foundation of the game is changing, then I definitely think you should support them, because you literally are paying for what you're supporting, you know? Or you're supporting what you're paying for, basically. It's kind of like a loop. It's going back into itself. I don't feel like I even want to play that much. I could see that. Yeah, there's a lot of players that are in that same boat, especially because there's not really a lot of things being dropped into the game. Mostly because sometimes it just feels like a chore. That is true. Speaking of the Wally event, thank you for helping me with my gameplay. I totally improved since then. Hey, I forgot. I also did do like a little coaching for you. I remember I added that to my members. And it's like, Papa, they don't even do that anymore. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, so much for that. It really feels to me like the season tour is the main driving force of why players use the events and multiplayer races, is to do all the stuff just in order to complete the season tour. I don't know. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You're gonna have to play multiplayer to do a lot of the season tour things, and you're also locked out of the season tour too if you don't have certain characters. Okay, let's talk about the next one. So we already talked about Evelyn. League of Legends days too. Whenever I see Eve, I think of Evelyn. We've already talked about Eve. We talked about her event. We talked about how it's changed from going from limited time to time trials to this, where it's more of like you need to pay to actually use the character, otherwise you're just screwed. Let's move on to how it was in early access. Let me take you back to the early access days. So imagine that we have that soft like sound, that like, when they, I don't even know if that's how it sounds, but when you close your eyes and go back to what is the flashback? Let's talk about that. Flashback. Let's talk about early access. If you did not know, early access is what we got to play if we paid for the game. Obviously, service to people who pay is top priority. Why on earth would we not treat them well? Why would we not improve on what they're asking for? Why would we not change what they would change? Some of the things that were different between early access and now is that patches that came out more frequently, and they actually made sense and they made good on their promises. A lot of the patches that you see nowadays, we should, we would, it could, a lot of these words are for things that are supposed to be fixed and then they don't get fixed. Balance changes, again, something that they actually looked closely at and they tried to make things more balanced for the players. There was no pay for materials or pay for shards. That was in the founders pack, and once that was it, you had to just play the game outright. Season tour didn't really require that many. They didn't really have difficult characters to do them with, especially because they kind of just gave you all the characters low key for free. It really wasn't that hard to get characters. You low key got them for free. Towards the end of Lilo and Stitch, heading into season 4, that's when they started to make the change to being more like microtransaction heavy. But one of the major changes are to the limited events. So I'm going to show you something from early access compared to what it was last season and to how it is this season. Boom. Early access event. Look, I'm so handsome. Okay, so look it. That's the happy popping off thing with Lofton. What you see right here is a screenshot. And the video is on my channel if you want to go look at them. But this is a screenshot of what they would give you if you came in top 75%. I'm going to list all of what you would get. If you're the top 10%, you got 35 shards for a character that's limited event. If you're top 25%, you got 30 shards. If you're top 50%, you got 25 shards. If you're top 75%, you got 20 shards. And if you're top 100%, just for playing the game, they give you the character for free and they gave you 15 shards for it. That is what you got back in the day. That's not what you got now. Now you barely get shards. Same thing for, where is it? Same thing for Mini, right? Again, you have all of these shards and the 15 shards that usually, I guess it doesn't really matter. I mean, if you unlock the character, you unlock the character. It is what it is. But then I think they would also have events to give you a little bit more shards after. I can't recall because that one is a long time ago, but I think they also gave you a little something with another event to just kind of like the Wally event where they would try to give you the ways to earn more shards. But can you believe that we went from this right here, top 100% got to, we went from giving people free stuff to saying you essentially can't even come close to unlocking the character unless you're in the top 25%. How do you guys feel to know that we went so far away? And mind you, this is little by little. Gameloft does something very interesting. What they'll do is they'll do changes little by little, and it will be so small you don't notice it. And I'm not saying that's malicious, you know, but stores do this too. I don't know if you know this, but stores will increase a price little by little without you paying attention to it. And then all of a sudden, when you go back one day, you're like, holy crap, this is expensive. What happened? It's like, well, we were kind of increasing the prices and you just didn't notice it yet. That's what happens. Gameloft does the same thing, except it's not with prices, it's with how they make the game harder for you to then pay. They don't even actually improve the pay to win aspect of the game. They just say, we're gonna make everything pay to win, good luck. Through seasons, and like I said, this happened at the end of season 3, going into at the end of season 2, which was a Toy Story season. Going into season 3, we started to have a lot less communication with them. We started to have a lot less balance updates, a lot less fixes. We started to have a lot less of everything going into season 3, leading into season 4 free to play. Now, what I said before was that they most likely said, nobody's buying our game, nobody's playing our game, let's launch free to play. If you didn't know, free to play actually happened a lot earlier than it was supposed to. Free to play came out in September, I believe, 2023. But it was supposed to come out in 2024 at the start of the next year. But they just said go, which has me lead to believe that they kind of were like, jump ship, we're kind of over this, let's get out of here. Because they used to have new game modes. They used to do a lot of what you would expect from them in early access. But through that season 3, which I already made videos about it because I realized it kind of beforehand. Once season 3 started to hit, I started to notice these little changes that they were doing, and then it just got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, and until we're here. And this is not even to mention that time trials are for characters that you might need for events, but you also need these characters for the tour as well, which is, again, something that they didn't really, it wasn't so hard to complete back then. Now you could say, well, there wasn't a lot of characters back then. That's true. There wasn't, but the requirements weren't that high. Really, it was just like play the character. You didn't really need to get them to 4 or 5 stars or anything like that. It wasn't that crazy. Now you could say, well, the game was paid for, that's why they gave you a lot of free stuff. True, true. But there's a lot of live service games out there that are free or became free, and they still improve on how the game works and functions, and people then give them more money for doing so. Again, I'm one of those players. I will pay for whatever's in the game if I like it, of course, but obviously if I know you as a company, you as a developer is actually doing something worthwhile, worth note-taking. Do you really need my money, or is it like not really doing anything and the game is still how it is for a long time? Throughout each season, it's gotten worse within the shop. It's gotten worse within gameplay. It's gotten worse within ranked. It's gotten like, it's just slowly degraded. And that's not to say that you shouldn't play the game and the game sucks. I'm not saying that, but I am saying that it's gotten worse. Like, the game was like basically top quality in early access. Into what we see now, it's very predatory. And I don't even like using that word, and I hate seeing it because sometimes I feel like that word is a little bit, it's just thrown around, you know? It's not the right word to use for every situation. There's a lot of words like that people use, you know, they throw some words around, you probably could think of some. Or they throw it around, and it might not actually mean what they think it means, or they're using it incorrectly, and it's like, that's not the one you should be using. But Gameloft has definitely turned into kind of the predatory Speedstorm game that we see now. I can't even log into the game without seeing an ad to buy something. I can't go into the shop without seeing an ad to buy something. I can't go back to the home screen without seeing an ad. There's always an ad to buy something. And on top of that, they have events that are locked behind paying. You need to pay. So this means that you need to do anything, so much so they want to put it in front of your face several times, saying that you need to buy. I don't know if this is for sure, but I definitely think that when you play ranked and you get to a certain rank, they intentionally match you with people that are really, really high levels. So that way you can kind of get a taste of what real power is. Now, it doesn't happen frequently. You'll probably have like 5 or 6 matches, 7 matches, and you'll get that one game where it's like, bro, why are you guys all so high? And then you'll go back to normal. And then again, and the higher you go up, the more frequent this becomes. And then eventually you're obviously inside of the group that has those high levels because you probably have one yourself. I don't know if it's intentional, but the fact that I'm getting 1v1s or I'm in a game with 3 people and everybody else is just majorly high, that makes no sense. Even when I play a high character that's in champion, I'm getting put into matches with like emeralds, or it's a 1v1 with them. It's kind of like, what? Why? And then I never see them again for a very long time, if at all. It's very strange, but I just think that's how it's designed. And again, I could be wrong. I have no proof of this whatsoever. I'm going based off experience. I think that in every point of this game, it's designed to let you know that you don't have, but if you did have, you'd be a lot happier. And that's what I don't like about Speedstorm. It's one thing to have, it's one thing to say, hey, if you get this, here, buy it. It's okay. You don't have to. It's cool. But to outright say that you're missing out on this, oh yeah, that's going to be harder, that's going to be harder, that's going to be harder too. You can't even get that unless you pay. It's a little bit ridiculous. And that's always something that I started to notice little by little until we get to the point where it's like just outright insane. Like, what? Where are we? Why? But keep in mind, you paid for the service to get in now. It's free to play, so it makes sense. That's what I was saying, Crack and Crunch. I was saying that we paid for the game, so obviously because we paid, you know, they should give us a little bit more attention, so to speak. But that doesn't mean you let the game get degrade. And that's the thing, that's the issue. There's a lot of games that were initially paid games that go free, and the developers still continue to bring exceptional service to it. That is something that Speedstorm does incorrectly. When it became free to play, it became more of, well, forget the exceptional service. Let's just kind of see what can we do to get people to spend more money. And now you can say at the end of the day that's business. You can say at the end of the day that's how games work. That's not. That's how they work. There's a lot of successful games that are free to play and or paid to play, and they don't work like that at all. And they're successful for a reason. So it kind of sucks. That's the direction that they went. We already talked about that in the last video. It's the direction that they went. It is what it is. But I just wanted to compare how early access is compared to how the game is now. We haven't gotten new game modes. We basically just got the same code. We got the same game with a new coat of paint each season. And when you look at games that have multiple seasons, that's never how it is. You always have some type of improvement, no matter how small, to the next season coming. So that's what, that's part of what I've seen change from season to season. The amount of support, the amount of predatory marketing, the amount of innovation when it comes to new things. What they're relying on right now is just the design. They're relying on the music team and the design team. I don't know how far that can make it, but at the end of the day, if you're someone who really enjoys racing as Disney characters, it's probably gonna go really far. It's gonna last for a very, very long time. They don't need to do anything, right? And you're gonna put up with a lot of the stuff that you see that gets worse and worse and worse. You'll put up with it because it's the only game like this around, or it's a game that you are really good at and you feel like you're not really good at many games. So this is a game where it's like, oh, I want to keep playing because this is one of the games I'm actually good at. And that's another reason why you play. Maybe you play because you spent a lot of money on it. Maybe you played because you spent a lot of hours on it. Who knows? But they understand that you're most likely not going to stop, and you're most likely not going to stop paying. So then we're going to continue to kind of just push it and see how far we can really go. How far can we go before you guys are just like, no. But I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's ever going to happen. Again, I never really tell you guys to stop playing the game. I never tell you guys to stop buying things in the game. Do what you do. I don't really have any like say so for that. I can only just say, for me personally, I don't tend to spend money on a game if I know the money's not going to where I believe it should go. Your belief, if you do pay, maybe you spend hundreds, 200, 300 every season. If you believe the game is going in the direction that you expect it to go, I think you should continue to do that because they're delivering on what you expect. But for me, they're not going in the way that I want it to go. So therefore, there's not really a reason for me personally to pay for anything in the game. Free if you purchase the game. I guess that's true. But nah, that is a huge change. Top 100% get the character just for participating versus now you get like 3 shards. Yep. Definitely even the cheapest founders packs was more than worth all the things that you got till now if you stayed active. Exactly. New players have to spend way more money if they want everything they missed, or even to have more content to do since they're locked out of a lot of the things, only having a few level racers. I didn't really think about it that way. You're actually like correct. People nowadays, if you want to catch up or if you want to get what I got, you're gonna have to spend like 10 times more than what I spent, or 10 times more than what most founders spent. That's crazy if you think about it. And you probably still never catch up. It's like you're running a never-ending battle. I mean, if you think about it, let me know in the comments below, or in chat if you guys are watching this right now. If you're someone who spends, I want to say like 200 or 300 plus a season, why do you buy this? I'm curious, and it's not to like pick apart your answer. I honestly am just curious on what makes you spend so much money on a game that doesn't do anything for you. And hold on, let me explain that, because it might sound really weird. The game is already pay to win, and you understand that you need to pay in order to do anything. So then you pay to do those things, to then come around the next season and do it again. It's like a hamster wheel. It's kind of like you're like, it's like a hamster wheel. Like, why do you give that much? $100 here, whatever, here and there, whatever. But for the players that spend like a lot every season, why? What is the point? Do you like to show off your stars? Do you like to show off your levels? Do you like being at the top of the leaderboard? Like, what is it that has you pay repeatedly? I have never played a game personally where I spent every season, whether or not it's paid to play, whether or not it's pay to win, whatever. I will give money every now and then, depending on what it's for. I guess if you have some really good skins each season, I might purchase. No, I will. I like to look good, but that's just it. It's skins. It's like I'm doing it to look better. But for Speedstorm, what is it for? It's the same thing every season. And so, excluding the answer of I pay to support them, get rid of that. I don't really care about that. I want to know, like, physically, what do you get by spending so much every single season? Is it just bragging rights? Do you like to just say I'm strong? Like, what is it? What is it? I'm genuinely curious to see, and I hope you guys have some really thoughtful answers because I want to read them. It's not to make fun of you at all. It's not to pick apart your answer at all. I just do not know, and maybe your answer is totally different, and maybe it's justified. You know, maybe you have your answer is really just straight up like, bro, this is why, and it's like, oh, I didn't even think of that. I'm genuinely curious because that's a lot of money to spend on a game like that when you could play another game and kind of just like spend that same money and get a lot more out of it, or buy multiple games in general. Like, that's a lot that you can put elsewhere if you want to keep it in the realm of gaming, you know? Kraken Christ said, nah, too broke. Plus I go at my own pace. I'm organized and use my season coins wisely. I guess I'm a collector. I guess that could be it. You want to collect, so you'll spend. But like Kraken said, you can do it over time. You don't need to spend every season upwards of like $300 or $400 to do that. You could just wait. So what is it? Please let me know. What is it? Why do you do that? Why do you do it every season? Like every season, even on character drops. So you do it at the start of the season, and then when a limited event character comes out, you cash about 100 or 200 more. Like, why do you do that? Let me know in the comments below or in the chat if you are reading it. I mean, or if you're watching the what is it? The premiere. Let me know in the chat, because I'm genuinely curious to know, and I'm sure others will too. Others will definitely want to know why you spend so much, especially when the state of the game isn't really improving over time. You're just getting new characters. So please let us know in the comments below. All right, let's talk about it's not the last thing, but it's the next Eve event coming. We have news. No, we have game news that the next Eve event is going to be a time trial. Woo woo. But it's not going to be for Eve shards. On top of that, it's not going to be regulated. Here's the words. Here's the words from Gameloft. Ooh, that's massive. Hold up, let me see. All right, here's what they said. They said, I like T.O. I don't know, some Gameloft, some of them be getting fed up though when they got some responses. Their responses be getting low key spicy. I be like, calm down, hey, chill, relax. It's high. Don't need to be that spicy. They over here just dropping the hot sauce on some people sometimes. But Tio says, hello everyone. Wanted to reiterate something about the 2 Eve events next Friday. The solo objective-based event will be giving more Eve shards. The leaderboard one will not. That event is for epic crew shards. So we are getting a limited event for getting the top of something, but it's only for crew. No, it's only for crew. Now this means we should be getting another Eve event. I'm curious to see what the cutoffs for that is. Maybe they're gonna be a little bit more generous this time and then be like, okay, only thing you're gonna need now is Eve, which you probably don't have because because you couldn't get her before. Yo, imagine first Eve event, you need Wally. You don't have Wally, that's fine. You don't get Eve, but that's okay. We got more Eve shards coming. Next time, you're gonna need Eve. Wait, but I couldn't get Eve because I didn't have Wally before. Well, I guess you just don't get Eve. That's a you problem. That's not a me problem. That's like I can only just imagine those meetings, bro. You got that one guy in the meeting that's like me, They're like, I think it's cool that the leaderboard is only for crew shards. But what about the new players? You know, you're making it. Oh, let me move to the next slide. So it's not regulated. Oh, you're making it so it's not regulated. Also, you know, some of these events are kind of hard if you're a new player. So how are they going to factor it in? And then the people, person at the meeting that's doing it, they're like, new players. What is he? What's a new player? You mean someone that's like, someone that like just re-downloaded the game, or like what's a new player? No, because I'm missing out. What's that? It's like a new player, someone who created a new account, and then they don't have what we're given. They can't enjoy the game. Oh, those people. Oh, the lessers. I'm toxic. That's the... Yo, we don't care about them. Those are the lessers. Dude, unless you were with us from the start or you pay money, we don't care about you. Nah, I don't think they're that evil. I honestly think there are people that try to do things like that. And there's multiple developers that I spoke with where they do have people try to stand up or do have people to try to say things. But if like the boss is like, bro, that's not happening, you just gonna have to be like, it is what it is. We tried, like, you know. So to say that, to say what I said, I'm pretty sure it's not how it goes down. And there's definitely people that want to try to make things good for the free players. But the CEO of Gameloft they'd be like, bro, don't tell me how to run our game. All right, we got 30 games under a game. We got 30 games on Gameloft. I know what I'm doing. I know how to get money. Yeah, but sir, like about like 80% of them don't have new players, and they don't make that much revenue, and some of them even they shut down. Don't tell me. We make a new game. For every game that's shut down, we make a new game. We lose a tree, cut it down, plant a new tree. That's all there is to it. Get out of my office. It's like, okay, shoot. Sorry. Somebody must have peed in your cereal today. No, I'm just... Yo. I'm stupid. Why do y'all watch me sometimes? Okay, let's get back on topic. It's not regulated, all right, which is fine because it's just crew shards. Who cares? Well, I mean, I guess if you really care about your stats, you care, which most likely means you're gonna cash out to get the crew shards. So honestly, that's very smart. Gameloft, I swear, they are some smart people, dude. Like, good lord. Make it not regulated and make it an Eve event. The only people that are gonna care about the crew shards are gonna be the people that want to get the most out of them, and they're leaderboard people, which means they most likely spend money already, which means they're gonna have to spend a lot of money so they can get the top. Plus, if you do want the top spot on the leaderboard in terms of like, I'm the fastest person alive on the leaderboard, you're gonna have to pay too. Dang, they know what they are doing. Dude, good lord. You know, I wouldn't be able to work for Gameloft for the simple fact that our interests would conflict so hard. It'd be like, Poppin', you're gonna need to tell them this, but like, why? Well, because, but like, why? Don't question me, you're fired. Like, well, seen that coming. You know, I don't think I would be able to do it. I give credit to them. To deliver news that people don't want to hear is like the hardest thing ever. So, Jesus. Okay, let me read you guys' comments on what you guys think about this. As I said, I really do feel like the next event is going to be, unfortunately, for characters you don't own, which means that, yes, you're going to need Eve, just like how they need Wally for a whole mission. They're going to give you 2 more missions. One of the missions are going to be straight for Eve. The other missions are going to be for some other characters you probably don't have. Hopefully, they're more generous and they make this very easy for you to do. But for the most part, I think it's probably going to get the people that are new to the game or free to play. They're most likely going to be trapped at like 8 shards, which means you're probably going to have to then buy the box anyway, which you're probably going to have to roll or spend about $10, $20, $30, depending on how lucky you are. Then if you're going to want the crew shards, you're going to have to play regulated, which means you're going to have to spend more money to then get to the top. So you're going to have, this is like a Dexter's Laboratory type of like devised plan. This is not just a, we randomly did it. This was meticulous. If they thought about how to improve the game as hard as they think about how to get money from the players, this game would be cracked. Nah, this game would be cracked if you use the same person and give that brain to improving the game rather than how do I get the most money out of everything. This is just so meticulous. They literally sat at home and just jot down note after note. They went ham with the planning. Good Lord. Jeez, I didn't even think about it like that until I said it out my mouth. That sounds rough. They went ham. Okay, anyway, let's see what you guys got to say about this at hand. As I said, you know, I guess it's better. I don't know. The thing is, just not everybody's gonna have a chance. That's all. That's the rough part. Is not everybody's gonna have a chance to unlock the character, and you are gonna have to pay money to get her. You're gonna have to pay money to complete the missions. You're gonna have to pay some sort of currency to do anything. Now you could say, well, you can play ranked and get the currency there. You can. And for anybody who has their money saved up, you're able to kind of get a free pass because you saved up your money. But for those of you that don't have those coins, or you spent them already or whatever, and it, you know, some of these bot races feel incredibly hard too. So if you're under level, it's rough, man. It's rough. All right, let's see what we got. The question doesn't apply to me, but I have spoken with a couple of people that are known that do, and these particular individuals have a relationship with the leaderboard. That's all I can and will say. Yeah, I already know that people that want to be at the top of the leaderboard are like paid to winning to do it. Like, that's explained. You know, like their leaderboard literally rewards you for how much you have, and so cashing is definitely something that people are. I mean, anybody who tries to say the game's not pay to win, or anybody who tries to say the game, you could be at the top of the leaderboard without paying, and like anybody who says any of that is like, it's not being honest. Because as someone who has a lot, I wouldn't have been able to break the top 100 without having a lot. Which means if you came into the game and you're new, you're not gonna have a lot. Which means if you want to hit the leaderboard, it's like I still paid money though. I still gave them money for early access. So like, it's definitely paid to do things. It's definitely paid to be at the top of the leaderboard. And so, yeah, very accurate answer. Now that I have every character unlocked and play often, I think I'm all set. I find that spending money does not go far because of the star system. Paying for a character with no unique ability sucks. Yeah, I also think that's kind of whack. They should definitely give players, the skill if you buy the character. Like, they should remove the 2-star, just give, like, why? What's wrong with giving them the skill? They still have to level up, they still have to star up. You're basically saying, it's kind of like another money-making like strategy. It's like, we'll give you the character, now you're so close, you want the ability, just unlock pack. So it's only $10. You can have the character, you can have 2 stars, you can even give you some little energy drinks, you know what I'm saying, some monsters. Like, you can have all of that just for $10. Like I said, as the seasons progress, the game has gotten so much into that like mentality of like, I want to show you what you don't have, and I want to make you feel good that you got it. Like, that's so rough. That's so rough. And one of the issues with it is like, it's a mobile game type of design for consoles. Like, we've already gotten past that. We've gotten past the pay to win. We've gotten past all of this on consoles that all the players around the world was like, bro, we don't want this. But to have them bring it back. And again, microtransactions is one thing. To say that you can buy it if you want. Cosmetics. And we get boosted in stat, who knows, whatever. You can if you want, but you are not locked behind having to do it, and you are not missing out if you don't. That is what we're having with Speedstorm, and to have it on a console game is just, it's like we're going back in time. What's new, players? The leaders. Disney Speedstorm starting to feel like the Ferrari club. If you don't spend a fortune on your product, then you're not eligible to breathe in our circle. Yo, you're not lying. I wonder how many shards we would get from that Wally event. I'm gonna assume it's probably 10 to 20 to 25. I mean, not 10, I'm sorry. I'm gonna assume it's probably 20 to 25. Because I'm gonna assume that you get 10 from this first one, which means you're gonna need 25 to star. So I'm gonna assume they're gonna get maybe 25, but you're gonna have to like bust your butt. Like, it's gonna be even hard for players like myself that have everything to bust your butt for that extra 25, because they don't like to just give you stars. They're never just like, hey, here's a gift. Nah, you're gonna have to work your butt for that, or just buy it outright. I'm just waiting for the next season announcement. Curious for the rollback. True. I'm waiting to see. Well, I guess for you, you're waiting to see like what they're bringing to the game. I'm waiting to see what they're gonna do to the game. That's always how I am. Everybody in every game, oh my god, new season patch notes. Oh my god, this is gonna be so dope. You look at this new mode. Look at that. Look at that. Then you got me. Where them patch notes though? No, I don't. Where them patch notes? 35% taken off of what? Yeah, but poppin', look at that. I mean, there's new guns, there's new levels. I mean, there's new expansion map. Yeah, but where them patch notes at that tell me the specificities of everything? No, because I don't play. You ain't gonna just tell me something. I need to read it in black and white. This is what we did, this is what we do, this is what happened. Because if I don't see that, it's not a patch to me. I'm a realist. I am. I'm sorry. That's just what I am. Poppin' would be fired. Poppin' would be fired by lunch. Imagine a job interview at Game Loft. Why do you think you would be our best choice for the position? Pay $50 and I'll tell you. Bro, how would I even answer that question? Bro, I'd just be like, so Poppin', you know, what do you think? Why do you think you'd be a great fit for the company? Well, I like a lot of the games that you guys have, and I think it's good. But I think I just would like to bring some new ideas to it, because I think you guys have something special. But you could really, if you wanted to just make it better, there's some things that we could change, things that we could do, and I want to be a part of that. You lost me at change. Next, like, oh God, do we get paid for this? No, it's gonna be a leap of faith. Next. Jesus. I'm so toxic. Why do y'all watch me? One thing they should do with the racer boost is allow 2 racers instead of 1, and double the shards and resources, and include the legendary crew member as well, and allow players to do racer shards. Yeah, I think if Gameloft went in the direction of like other games where it's like you could unlock everything that you want with money, or you're gonna have to play a lot. And when I say play a lot, I don't mean wait 2 years to get a character. I'm saying play a lot, like you can unlock many if you play 100 Mickey games. You can unlock many if you come in first 100 times. Okay, I understand. That's a lot. That's a big number. But also, how fast are those races? And if you enjoy playing the game and you make the game fun and you make the game loop fun and you have actual modes that matter and it's not pay to win, people will play 100 games anyway. So now you're just increasing the longevity of the game by not only making it so that you have to do a lot more work, but also the game loop is fun. As an example, Final Fantasy XIV. I keep bringing it up because it's one of the games that I like. With Final Fantasy XIV, they give you things for clearing dungeons. If anyone knows me and anyone knows how I play, I just dungeon, bro. I'll queue up. I like to help people clear dungeons. I like to do the dungeons. I don't really have a reason to do it. I don't get any character stats or whatever. I just do the missions and I just like doing it. The gameplay loop for their dungeons is so fun to me that I will do a lot of them. There's a lot of mounts in that game that says you need to play a tank for 3,000 dungeons. I'm like, okay, where'd they do that at? Like, I don't mind because the loop is fun. And that's the thing with Speedstorm. It's like, if you make the loop fun, you don't need to charge so much, or you don't need to make it so pay to win, because they're going to keep playing anyway. And if you make it last for a long time, they're going to continue. Like, there's a lot we could have done to make it better. And to think that we didn't even do that. It's like, I wonder, like, when the idea of Speedstorm was sketched up, how was it like presented? Like, who brought the idea? Disney Kart Racer, check. That's dope. Who wouldn't want that? Cool characters, cool maps every season. That's dope. Who wouldn't want that? Cosmetics, dope. Who wouldn't want that? But who was like, let's do shards and level system? You couldn't just give me missions to unlock stuff by playing a ton? I mean, let's be honest. You can get this skin if you play Goofy 50 times. You get this legendary skin if you play Goofy 200 times. Bruh. Why wouldn't you do that? You can unlock Mickey. You can unlock Minnie if you play Mickey. You can unlock Daisy if you play Donald. You can unlock Steamboat Pete if you play Steamboat Mickey. You can unlock Steamboat Pete or Steamboat Mickey if you play Mickey, but you have to drift a certain amount of times, or you have to play on that certain map that many times. Like, why on earth did we not go that direction? You know how much money this game could have made, in my opinion, man? That is the direction to go. I feel like it would have been slower though, maybe. I don't know. That's hard. That's hard. That's rough. That's rough. That's rough. I don't even know how to like attack that situation. Steven, what's good? Good to see you, Steven. Also, Wise Guy TV, hello. Good to see you guys coming in. If you ever come to my podcast and you at the back of the podcast, just know that's probably not where you want to be unless you really care about what I have to say. Like, just don't get this far. Pop it. What are you talking about? Well, don't watch this far and you don't ever have to worry about it. That's literally how it goes. Personally, I think Game Laws has learned the pay option instead of paywall. Paywall for Wally. Pun not funny, Game Law. True. Level 30 or level 40 Wally for next week's event requirements predictions. I don't think it's going to be high levels. I think you're just going to need Eve, and it's going to be the same as Wally. If they make you have a 3-star Eve, bro, they're tripping. They're tripping if they think somebody, because if you're a free player, like if you don't buy a pack, you only have a 1-star Eve, like right off the bat. Now you could say one mission is going to require, like, let's bring it up real quick. You could say that one mission is going to require Eve, and with this mission you're gonna have to come back, but you can get 2-star. You can get 2 stars from the second event for Eve. If you have everything, that second event will fund your Eve to have 2 stars, and then you can complete the. Excuse me. Then you can complete the. Then you can complete the stars for that mission. Like, you can get the levels. Because they're going to need to give us 25 shards, right? Like, they're going to need to give us 25 shards. There's no way they're not going to give us 2 stars. And there's no way they're going to make it so that you have to. You just don't have an option to make her 2 stars. They can't do that. They can. If they do that, I might be livid. No, I'm saying they can't do that. Literally, there is no way to get her to 2 stars. So why on earth is there a mission to do her 2 stars if there's no free way to get her to 2 stars? Now you really are saying that you need to pay to do it. And if they do that, if they do that, man, that really speaks volumes. That speaks volumes. There's no way. there's no way. That really speaks volumes. Hey everyone, finally able to sneak in here during my break while blowing glass all day at Disney Springs. Ooh, that seems really cool. Hope everyone is having a great weekend. That's really cool. We watch for the toxicity. Yo. Look, I'll say, I don't think I'm toxic. I'm just honest. That's all I'll say. Look, can you really? But the majority of what I say isn't toxic. It's just honest. It's honesty coming out. Maybe I could phrase it better, but that's still beside the point. I just sent a message on Discord that we miss you here, and now you're here. Yeah, what's up, Steven? I hope your dad had a great birthday. Question, comment. Wait, hold up. I'm sorry, I'm getting through these comments. Y'all know me. I get on tangents. I do. No, I do. That would be amazing. I like grind missions for natural rewards. Yeah, I like grinding missions too. I'm not really tripping too much about that. Make the game fair, make the game balanced, make the gameplay loop fun. I'm not tripping off grinding multiple times. Question, comments. I've never heard anyone talk about the way the game teaches the best lines to take/avoid by using the boost icon/hazard icons on tracks during some races. For example, the frozen track has the snowflake trophy or the red ice spikes. Oh, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I think originally, before the game was like, before I realized it was pay to win, I originally did do that. And a lot of my guides for stuff, if I'm talking about racing lines or how to be faster, is usually for regulated. When things are not regulated, at that point, it is pay to win, and I feel like it doesn't really matter. You'll win majority of your games if you just outstat somebody. So that is why I haven't really made many videos on how to race better unless it was for a specific regulated event, because there's not really any regulated stuff out. So I'm all for playing better. I'm all for teaching people how to play, give racing lines and whatnot. But it just, maybe I'm just too honest, but that was something that I conflicted with before. Because I used to do guides on trophy cups that were unregulated because I didn't really understand. I was just too happy about the game. I didn't understand that unregulated meant like, bro, you could just put levels into something and you're faster. And at that time, everybody was around the same level anyway, so it didn't really matter. But nowadays, like, it's conflicting. It's like, I can show you how to race better, but you're still gonna lose. So in theory, I'm giving you hope when there is none. You know what I'm saying? Like, in order to beat someone that is higher stats than you, you're gonna have to play out of your mind. And I don't think most players do that. And so that's why I don't really make guides for unregulated things. I usually make them if they are regulated. So if anyone ever wanted to know why I made a lot of the time trial guides, is because that was regulated. It's because how you play actually matters. So that's what happened. But there's no regulated for Eve, so I don't think I'll be making one. Who knows? Maybe I'll see how bad it is and then I'll make one. But I don't know. It's not regulated. But yeah, blowing glasses, that's pretty dope. And at Disney Springs, it's even doper. Is this game part French? Wait, what? That'd be amazing, like the ground. Okay, I read that. I know the game is based in Europe. Maybe the halls and game loft buildings are not 90-degree turns. Maybe they are roundabouts and they got this. That's troll. That's troll. Yeah, I think for Speedstorm it is in Europe, but I do know that they have some companies I think around the world, or like have buildings around the world. But I think for this particular game, it is in Europe. The game itself does not teach player how to do this. True. However, Pop-Man's videos on true. Nothing is guaranteed unless you got money. True. I agree, but it's never talked about why they are there. I'll have to check those tutorials, and the game doesn't seem to teach us anything except how to spend money. True. I do agree. I missed the point, I guess, what you were saying before, but you're saying the game itself doesn't actually teach you anything. Replaying the tutorial, it definitely, I will say this. I have, like I always tell you, I have multiple alt accounts because, I want to make quality content. I don't want to speak on things I don't understand or I don't know. I research all the time. Playing the tutorials on those accounts, I can definitely see that it evolved, but more time is spent telling you about how to get into the shop, how to upgrade your racer, how to level up your racer, how to get material. Like, more is spent on that than it actually is spent on how to play the game, how to cut corners, how to drift past corners, how to, like, it's not explained. Now, you could say a lot of those intricacies actually won't work on a mobile device. It is, at the end of the day, this is a mobile game, and I don't know many mobile gamers that like really want to do thumb gymnastics. I'm not one of them. The only mobile games that I play is like a tower defense because I don't got time unless I plug in a controller. So that could possibly be why, but I do agree with that. The game is focused on, the game is focused on existing long-term players, and most of the players already know when and how to do those items, and I guess that's true too. It is focused on existing players. I remember when I started, I was trying to do the starter circuit, and after every race, I got the notifications to buy this, buy that. Exactly. And again, I always want to say, I don't care what people buy. I don't care about the money, whatever. What I care about is the degradation of the game through seasons. Mind you, each season they get more money, so to speak. So why is it never going into getting better? The other thing is, I don't like how they focus on groups of players. They don't want the experience good for everyone. They want the experience good for those who pay. Again, I don't really like that. I don't think that's how it should be. Yes, there's pay to win. We know this, but that's not something that we could change, period. That doesn't matter. If they wanted to run it as pay to win, it's pay to win. But to still not have something enjoyable for the whole, we don't have different groups of people enjoy Disney movies. Bro, if you enjoy Disney movies, you enjoy Disney things, it's because you like Disney. We're not separated. So why are we separated in this game? Everyone should be able to enjoy it because we all like Disney. Therefore, there should be something for everyone. You don't go to Disneyland and be like, oh, all this is nothing for me. Bye. It's like, oh, I don't like that, but I like that. Oh, that's really cool, but I don't like that. You got options. Where are the options for this? We can't really put Disney in a game and just say there's no options, buddy. If you don't spend money or if you haven't been here for a long time, good luck. Like, what? That's what bothers me. That's what bothers me. And as I said, when the game first came out, I was excited. I was hopeful. I was hopeful for months, not even just a little bit. I was like one of the only people that was like, Gameloft is not going to do that. Gameloft is going to make it good. Gameloft is that. When everybody else was like, Gameloft sucks. Gameloft is going to do this. They're going to be so much, blah, blah, blah. I was the only person at the time that was like, I think they're going to do good. We got to give them a chance. We got to make it, you know, maybe they're going to do something next season. You know, you never need, don't worry. You know, they could change. Something could happen. And then now it's just kind of like, y'all just don't really care at this point, huh? Like, what happens when the money stops flowing? Like, let's just say every person just said, we're not paying for anything like this. You push so far that nobody wants to pay. What happens then? You're too deep. You're too deep to revert anything. And if you do, people are going to be mad. So what do? Either you make a Disney Speedstorm 2 or you just let the game sit. And based off the events and based off how the season's going and the lack of new things, there's more to talk about negatively about the game than positively. Not in the sense of saying the game sucks, but in the sense of like, when we get patch notes, when we do anything, when we hear news, there is more negativeness to negativeness. There's more negative. There is more negativity to that news than the positive. As an example, we just got this from their thing, right? Hey, next Eevee event. Yay, we get another Eevee event. But, you know, you're gonna need characters, which is we already know. And on top of that, we're gonna have a time trial too. So you can get crew specifics in time trial. But guess what? What? It won't be regulated. Like, there is more negativity in all the news that they deliver than positivity. The only positive aspect of Disney Speedstorm when they announce something is characters or tracks. That's it. That's what bugs me. Because I was hopeful. I thought it was going to be the thing. I thought it was going to be a great game. And then to just see it go worse and worse and worse, and to see them not care more and not care more and not care more, to see that the patch notes that should have fixed things that don't fix anything, the thing that should have been fixed 3 seasons ago, the things that, there's so much wrong with the game right now. It always gets to me. And again, you might be wondering, well, poppin', what? Why do you cover the game if you hate the game? I don't hate the game. I don't hate the game at all. I still think at like the fundamentals of the game is great. I don't like ramming. No, I hate that. No, believe I hate ramming. But the game itself is a good game. Now, I hate all the bugs and glitches that should have been fixed if you're getting thousands and bajillions. I'm not gonna say bajillion, that's a lie. But you know, a lot of people spend a lot of money. Why are we still having these same bugs in the game for 3 seasons, 4 seasons, 5 seasons since early access? What's going on? Like, where is this money going? Where is it going? It's not going to make the game better, so where is this going? Like, that is my issue. We should be moving forward, not backward. We should be moving to serve everybody, not some people. We should be moving to make the game better, not worse. That is my issue with the game. It's not that I hate the game, which is why I cover the game. Now you might be thinking, well, Poppin', why don't you have guides? You know, I want to do guides. I want to do videos on other stuff, but what is there to do? Everything is, there's so much negativity with the game right now in terms of every decision that they make. It is hard to really, and I try to give you guys great content. I don't really try to give you guys like BS content. I try to put my all in all my content, but how am I gonna make content for you guys if I can't put my all in it because it's so disheartening to know the game went the way that it went, you know? So This is what you get at the end of Poppin's stream, or the end of Poppin's podcast. Okay, this is what you get. So I like to be honest. I like to be transparent. Just because I have everything, just because I make content on the game, does not mean I think the game is perfect. Nothing is perfect in this world. We need to improve on everything, and it's just they aren't listening. That is where we're at. So, believe me, just because I have everything does not make me happy. I unlocked Eve yesterday when she first came out. Am I happy about the Eve event? No. I have her though. Yeah, no, I'm still not happy about it. Okay, let me glance through some of this stuff. You could cut in line with money. You could cut in line with every amusement park with money. Come on. You can't even blame Disney. I still only have 1-star Wally, and I generally finish the top 10 in all of the events. And just when I think Eraser can get started up, I realize I'm still 1-star. Yeah. Okay. I can talk to y'all forever because y'all have some interesting conversations. But look, we need to save it for the next podcast. All right, let's hop into some comments. Let's get it going. All right, so first comment. Now, obviously, I've already responded to some of you guys already, but I think these are some good conversation starters for you guys in the chat right now. And if you guys are watching the premiere, and for those of you guys that want to write in the comments, your comments will be featured in the next podcast. So if you want to have something to say about this Wally event, let me know. Your comment could be there. I like to grab the comments and talk about them in the next podcast. That's a lot, wasn't it? As someone who just started with Frozen, I still feel like my time isn't respected. I just wish there was a way to unlock racers as a free-to-play, other than the loot box gods. Even more so, because you don't even get a feel for their uniqueness until they are 2 stars. That's true. And again, I don't necessarily think that paying for a startup is bad. I just think there should be... Let's go back a little bit. Let's go back to, I feel like my time isn't respected. That's hard. Oh, that's hard. Okay, if we think about it this way, let's just say we have all characters unlocked, right? You're 1-star. If you play ranked, you can then get them to 2, right? Now it's gonna be a little bit rough. I don't remember. I think you need 15 to get a star up to 2 stars in plat. But if you want 2 stars and you're starting with like 0 shards and not that extra 5, I think you are going to need to get to Emerald with 1 star. And it's like deep into Emerald, not just the start of Emerald. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you guys have recently had a just startup racer and you guys were able to then start 2 in platinum, let me know. But I think if I can remember correctly, you can only do that if you have 5 bonus shards already to your character. Otherwise, you are going to need to play to Emerald. That is extremely hard to do, especially nowadays. I feel like the time spent playing it, I do agree you don't get a lot out of it, and they do try to stretch it. So if you want a character, instead of saying, well, go play this many games and spend 10 hours or whatever, it's more of like, wait a month, 2 months, a whole season, a whole 2 seasons before we bring it back. Within that time span, there could possibly be a whole lot of events that require those characters that you are missing. Now, I will say there's a lot of games that will reward you for how much time you spent in. For Speedstorm, I personally feel like the amount of time and the amount of money spent is not really worth either. Like if I get a 5 shards for $10, I don't feel like that's worth. And then obviously, let's just say playing ranked for like 2 hours, it's not gonna net you a lot if you are looking to get something specific. And it's a lot of stress. Whereas other games, it's like, oh, do this for 10 hours, you got a whole bunch out of it. I do agree with that. And it is a live service game, and they do have to make sure they spread it out, or else you're gonna get bored and you're gonna stop playing. I do understand that too. I'm not dense. But I do think they give you a lot more opportunities if you have currency. You have a lot less opportunities if you don't. Does that make sense? If a character is required for an event for the next month, you have another opportunity to get the character by spending money. You don't have another opportunity to get the character by doing the event. Does that make sense? So, in that regard, I mean, yeah. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about it. That's a hard one. That's a hard one. It's like, it's hard to fix that, I think. That's a hard one. Good comment. Good comment. Steam Aculite, thank you. Thank you. And again, I've already responded to you as well, but I just thought it was a good conversational starter for that. Let's see. It depends if it's a season character or mid-season character. I usually ranking and go up enough to earn the first, third star levels. Well, I was talking about like the yeah, seasonal characters that kind of just like you have a lot more. But if you were taking like a limited event character and you only were able to unlock it, you don't have any more shards. You need 25 shards to unlock. I'm pretty sure you need to make it to Emerald to get the 25 shards needed to get 2 stars. Sad part about that is once you're in Emerald and you're 2 stars, you're probably not going to get to Diamond, or maybe you can. It's going to be really rough, but you're not getting any higher than that. So you are pushing through a lot of pain to then not be able to use the character anyway, and it's a lot harder to shard up doing that if you're not a multiplayer player either, which means you're not going to be able to play season tour or do limited events unless you like really stress out playing multiplayer. Like there's really no way to do anything. Like, I guess I could say there's always a pain, and then they always give you something to alleviate the pain. So they intentionally make you hurt and twist your arm. And then what they'll do is they'll say, now that your arm's twisted and now you hurt, now you feel the pain, we have some options for you. Do you want them? And they do that every single time. For a limited event character, if you missed out, the pain is having to wait forever. For starting up a character, the pain is having to play multiplayer, especially if you're lower level or if you're lower start. It's going to be rough. Season tour, the pain is missing out on some of those nodes. Like there's always a pain, and then there's always relief. And that's just kind of how that works. The next comment is from Deadwave. Deadwave again. I felt like I had you last podcast. Yeah, I started since season 4, but my biggest issue was quitting or putting down the game for periods of time. I'm thankful for the opportunity to build up my roster to a point where I can do the side paths of season tour, but I do dread to think about what I've missed out on. I don't think I was hitting the events as much as I was during the final half of season 5 when I decided to put effort into the game. Yeah, that's just kind of a live service game for you. That's nonsense. No, I won't say that. Most live service games do have the you need to be here or you're gonna miss out, but most of them also have we understand that you missed out. You had to take your kid to daycare, whatever, what have you? You had to work. You had to work I don't know, whatever. But they usually do give you some type of opportunity to like make it back. They give you some way to get it back without having to wait forever because they know life happens and they try to give you an opportunity. And that's something that Disney Speedstorm does not do. And I definitely understand where you're coming from with that for sure. Oh wow, I only had 2 comments. I thought I had one more. Let me check. I thought I had one more comment. This is a long podcast. Maybe it was for I did have one more comment. All right, let me add that bad boy. Oh, I think I just added the same comment twice. So that's what happened. Okay, give me a second. So the next comment that we have here is, there we go, Phoenix Harley. Hello. To be fair, I think I prefer this way to time trials. Then at least everyone can get them if they have the characters, and if they want extra to do the special box. You need Minnie, Woody, Steamboat, Pete, Mike, Sully. All need requirements and certain requirements, i.e., certain skills to do. Think they have been level, or I think you have to be. Just my mind is like mush right now. Level 16 or 20. Cannot remember, but each will give you a shard. Yeah. That's hard because the players that actually do have everything, they do get it for sure. But the players that don't, at least they can get it for sure, or at least they can get some shards for sure with the event. And if you're really good, obviously you get more out of it. Now I do know there are some missions that you can complete and they allow you to play Eve. I don't know how many shards they give you for that, but I think overall, if you are someone who's kind of competitive, Regulator is probably better for you. And then I think if you're not competitive, then this way is better for you. And I could be wrong in that regard. You also can get them instantly rather than having to wait like 5 or 6 days for it to be over. So I can see both sides of the stories. I think for the new player perspective though, I'm just gonna say time trials is better, only because a new player can actually still shine bright with their skill and still get the character. Whereas this way, it's like, you don't really have a chance, brother. Good luck. So that's how I feel about that. This was a very long podcast. I had a lot of fun though. I had a lot of fun. This was a fun podcast. Remember, if you guys want to sit in and you guys want to watch and you guys want to conversate or converse. Is conversate even a word? Yo, I always grew up saying let's conversate, but like now I think back, is that even a word? Converse. Make sure you become a member. See if it's for you. You can sit in and talk with us, but also there's some extra goodies. I'm gonna revamp it a little bit, and I am gonna have something else come soon for members as well. But it's still kind of in the thought process stage, so know that. But thank you guys for supporting me, all you members. Whether you are lurking, watching, whatever, we have dropped no frames this stream. I fixed it. But thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for talking. Thank you guys for giving your input. I know I don't know everything, and I know I'm always wrong. Okay, maybe not always, but I know I can be wrong, and I know I could be looking at things from a different light. So it's always awesome to see you guys say something like, Poppin', I don't think that, Poppin', they have to, Poppin'. Like, I love all that because it's a conversation. It's not just like a yes man type of thing or yes sir type of thing. It's more of a, I agree with some stuff, but that other stuff though, bro, I don't know. Because it's okay. It's healthy. It's healthy. But thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. Until next time, you know what I always say. Watch other podcasts if you haven't. And I'll see you guys in the premiere if you guys want to rewatch it. Of course, you might not rewatch it, but you know, who knows? Till next time, you know what I always say. Thank you guys for doing one. Popping often with Lofton. It was a blast of a stream or podcast.